Raised in the lion's den, standing on truth. I don't follow, I inspire men. Loyal to the code, got the wisdom of 1,000. Every move I make for the fam, that's the fountain. Built from the struggle, integrity in my spine. Character solid, you can read between the lines. Talk what I live, they respect me when I speak. Name hold weight in the west and the east. Lessons from the block got me sharp like a blade. Made it out the fire, but the flame never fade. Soul made of steel, I don't shake, I don't run. I'm too much, I'm the moon and the sun. Everybody know me. Too much. When you see me on the street, too much. I be on TikTok, too much. Always standing on business, too much. Everybody know me, too much. When you see me on the street, too much. I be on TikTok, too much. Always standing on business, too much. Legacy on my back, I don't bend, I don't fold. Too much to name, but I never do the most. Principles embedded, they don't come with a cost. I took every L like a boss, never lost. Talk to the youth like a prophet in the street. Every bar is a jewel, every line is elite. Got the aura of a king, calm, never loud. But when I step in the room, I still move the crowd. Sticking to the code, I don't break, I create. Everything I built from the ground, now it's great. Said I couldn't do it, now I'm living what I said. Too much, lead with heart, not just bread. Everybody know me. Too much. When you see me on the street, too much. I'll be on TikTok. Always standing on business. Everybody know me. When you see me on the street, I'll be on TikTok. Always standing on business. Mirror never lie, I reflect what's divine. Discipline the fuel, got my purpose in line. They imitate the stance, but the soul ain't matching. I do it for the bloodline, never for the caption. Too much, realer than the lives they be living. I'm the echo of the struggle, still risen. Woke in my thoughts, still humble in my deeds. Planting righteous seeds while the world just feeds. Eyes on the prize, but my mind in the stars. Blueprint in my palms, no facade, no fraud. Speak truth in the world full of fiction and fronts. Too much, I'm the future they want. What's good, family? We about to get started here. I be on TikTok. Always standing on business. We are about to get started, family. Yeah, standing tall for the lineage. But less, always more. What's good, family? Y'all coming up in here. Get them likes up. Get them likes up. Get them likes up. Get them likes up. We about to talk about it, family. I know it's been a while since I've been live. I was busy. That's all I can tell y'all, family. I'm busy actually working for the family. We trying to get this coin out. This FBA coin is going to be out a lot sooner than later. We're putting together the LP right now. I'm going to do some NFT drops and some pre-sales, and we're going to give you some NFTs and some tokens. And we are about to launch. So shout out to the family, man. It didn't take as long as I thought it was going to take. We are about ready to launch. I've been doing some upgrading and updating on the tokenomics. And family, I think y'all gonna love the tokenomics. I'll be dropping a new white paper soon, and I will be updating the website soon. So just stay tuned, family. You know, y'all didn't see me, but that don't mean I wasn't out here standing on business. You understand? I'm still out here standing on business, and it's only going to get better. So go ahead and get them likes up. Y'all know what to do. Get them likes up. Like I said, the coin's about to drop a lot sooner than y'all think. Matter of fact, I'm going to show y'all some of the NFT that we're going to drop with the coin in the middle of the broadcast today. But I'm reaching back in my relationship bag. You know, a lot of people been asking me. A lot of people been telling me to get back on the relationship. So I'm coming back on the relationship tip, family. I want to give y'all some game that y'all can use. And I'm gonna just say it like this. You know, everybody runs their household different. You know, I'm not here to tell you what you should or what you shouldn't do.
I'm just giving my 2 cents, my advice to the family. You know, you see the topic, who gets the final say? Who gets the final say in your household? If you're a man, you're a woman, who gets the final say? Who makes the final decision? When you're at a stalemate, when the man is opposed and the woman is opposed, which one do you choose? Who do you go with? How do you make decisions in your family? That's what I want to know, family. How are you making decisions? Now, some of y'all is like, well, shoot, it's only me and the kids. Well, we know who's going to make the final decision in that household, but what about when it's husband and wife? Who gets the final say? You know, a lot of people got their own opinion. A lot of people feel a certain way. So we're going to chop it up and we're going to talk about it, family. I want to make sure that I get to it. But I don't know what's going on. Every time I set this phone down, y'all can't see me. But if y'all can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. Let me know that y'all can hear me. I see Musa, that's 100. Okay. If y'all can hear me, just put a 1 in the chat for me. Let me know that y'all can hear me. And I'm going to keep going. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I know y'all can hear me. So we about to get into it, family. We are about to get into it. So who gets the final, this was something, I've always talked about relationships, I'm very big on that. And, I've been kind of on the FBA square, and I'm still on the FBA square. This is tailored for foundational Black Americans. I'm talking to my people. But I was asked to, throw some relationship up in there. So I'm back, even though you haven't seen me for a while, talking about relationships. So, family, let's talk. Who gets the final say in your home? Is it the man, the woman, or do the kids even get a vote? Are you guys making decisions? What's your indicator? How do you make decisions in your home? Are you thinking it through? Is it quick decisions? Do you have the family in mind when you're making these decisions? Or is it just my way or the highway? That's what I want to know. How are you making decisions in your home? So today we're gonna break things down FBA style, unapologetically, because foundational Black American home, the way we make decisions determines the strength of our family, our legacy, and our community. The way you make decisions determines the strength of your family, the legacy of your family, and your community. I want y'all to understand, family, listen, it's not just you. You are whether you want to believe it or not, whether you hold yourself accountable to this standard or not, I want you to understand that every decision you make not only affects your family, but it affects the FBA family as a whole. I want you to understand that a lot of y'all don't think like this, but you are every time you're out, you are representing 50 million Black Americans in this country. You're representing 50 million FBA. Whether you want to take ownership of that, whether you want to believe that or not, I'm telling you, you do. If you make a mistake, it don't just affect you and your family. It can affect us all. If you crash out, it don't just affect you and your family. It can affect us all. So I want to know, what is your decision making? Who gets the final say in your family? Let's get into it, family. Let's get into it. Family. So let's go back in time a little bit. Before society started breaking up our homes with policies, propaganda, the FBA household had order, family. We had order. We had matriarchs, grandmothers and mothers who ran the daily operations, the culture keepers. We had patriarchs, fathers and uncles who protected, provided, and held the final say on moves that affected survival of our legacy. Okay? We had children who were seen and heard, family, and heard, because family was a training ground for everyday life. I want y'all to hear me. I know some of y'all grew up in a household where they say children are seen, not heard. I know some of y'all grew up in a household where it was my way or the highway. But I want you to understand that that's not how we did it back in the day. For real, for real. We did have a village mentality at one time. We did have that. We did have, if your kid get out of line, somebody else's kid can pop your kid and get them back in line. We did have that I am my brother keeper mentality. We respected a chain of command without losing the love. We did. Now fast forward today. Too many homes, let's just keep it a buck, are out of order. Social media says women should run everything. Some men think leadership is dictatorship. And kids are left unprepared to lead. Kids are left to fend for themselves, even though they grow up in a home and they don't know how, they don't have the responsibility. Kids are not brought up with the responsibility of making decisions. They're just kind of, you just got to do whatever the adults say. And I'm telling you, that may not be a good thing. That may not be a good thing. That's why today we are returning to the original FBA family blueprint. I want to introduce to you guys the blueprint. I want to help get y'all back on track. Okay? Let's be clear. In an FBA household, I'm gonna just say it how I want to say it. The man carries the final say on critical decisions. In an FBA household, the man carries the final say on critical decisions. Not because the woman is less, not because kids don't matter, but because a man is responsible for the outcome. I want y'all to understand, listen. If you're a man out there and you are afraid to make decisions, or you are afraid to make the final decision, you are hurting your household. Because I want you to understand, no matter what, if there is a man in the house, no matter what decision you make, everything falls on you anyway. Everything falls on. So my thing is this: if no matter who makes the decision, you're gonna get blamed for it, you might as well take some ownership of the decision making going on in that home. You might as well stand up and say, this is how we're gonna move, this is how we're gonna do, and whatever happens, you just be a man and face it. And if you need to do some course correction along the way, so be it. But I tell you one thing. I'm tired of seeing men who live in a house, who has a family, and who doesn't have a say-so in his own house. That's crazy to me. Because no matter what, you're going to get blamed anyway. So if you let somebody else get the final word, that's, everybody runs their house issue. That's on you. But understand this, as a man, you're going to get blamed for it. If something goes wrong, you are the one that's going to get blamed for it. Nobody else is going to get blamed. Nobody's going to say, oh, it's the woman's fault. Oh, it's the kid's fault. No. They're going to say, oh, you got weak leadership in your home. It's the man's fault because the man was a weak leader. So when it comes to the final say-so, I'll always leave that up to the man. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm gonna just break it down for you. And this has nothing to do with sexism or feminism or anything like that. This just has to do with just a little bit of common sense and a little bit of structure. Okay? Listen up. Men, your job as a man is to be is not only where is your purpose to problem solve. Your job is to solve problems, right? Your job as a man is to make decisions. When it comes to quick decisions, That's when you really shine. I'm going to be honest with you. Men, when it comes to quick decisions, men shine. Your job as a man is to be able to make quick decisions on the fly and then pivot as needed. That's your job. Shout out to BX. That's your job as a man. Your job is to not, your job is to be the selfless one in that home. Your job is not to be thinking about yourself. Your job as a man is to have your wife and your children in mind based on every decision, because everything is about every decision really revolves around protection. It revolves around provide and protection. See, I'm not saying as a man you got to make every decision, but I'm saying when there's a stalemate, when you don't, when the wife is diametrically opposed and you feel a certain unction, and maybe the kids don't even know what's going on, your job as the man is to get the final say and say, you know what, I hear what you're saying, but we need to do this, or we're going to do this instead. Not all the time, because God gave you a wife for a reason. God gave you a spouse for a reason. The Most High gave you a spouse for a reason. You chose that woman for a reason. You chose her for a reason. So you might as well hear her out. You might as well get her perspective, because a woman's perspective is crucial, because men don't see everything. Oftentimes, as men, we miss the details. We don't see the details. A woman's intuition is, especially a woman's intuition that works. I'm not talking about, man, I got a feel. I'm talking about an intuition that works. That's valuable to a man. I'm gonna tell you right now, a woman's intuition, especially a woman's intuition that works, is very, very valuable to a man. And you need to get better. You need to get the perspective, different perspective, in order to make the final decision or the right decision. This is what I believe, family, and I say this, if y'all seen me talk about this before, I've said this before. There is no such thing as a right or wrong decision. There are only decisions that you make and decisions that you make right. There are no such thing as right or wrong decisions. There are only decisions that you make and decisions that you make right. What do I mean by that, family? What do I mean by that? This is what I mean. As a man, you can go left, you can go right. But your job as a man, as the decision maker in that home, is to make it right. See, here's the beautiful thing about that women have. Women don't have to make it right, but as a man, you do. It's your job to make it right. See, she could say, let's do this, and it could fail. And you know what? Everybody's gonna be like, oh man, water on the bridge. You can't do nothing about it. You listen to her, it didn't work. You can't do nothing about it. But you know what you do got to do? Even though she made a decision and it didn't work out, your job as the man is still to do what? Make it right. Make it right. Because y'all know how. Now I'm not putting this on all women, but y'all know how hard it is sometimes for women to be even held accountable for their decision making. As a man, you don't have that luxury not to be held accountable. You don't have the luxury. You don't have the luxury as a man at all. Being a man, that's why to me, when I see women want to step into a man's role, I'm shocked. Because I'll be like, do you really know what you're getting yourself into? Do you really understand what it's like to be a man? There was a transgender woman. There was a woman. She was part of the LGBTQ community, and she wanted to know what it was like to go through as a man, be a man. They did this. They dressed her up, made her look. I mean, she's already there. She was already looking like a man. But they put the makeup on. They put the bodysuit on her. They put everything, and she got to live as a man for a whole month. just what it feels like to be a man. And do you know, you know what that woman said? Men get the worst treatment on planet Earth. See, as a man, you don't have room for error. You don't get sympathy. Okay? You don't get pats on the back. You don't get appreciated. Y'all know how Father's Day look for a lot of men. When Father's Day come around, everybody goes all out for Mother's Day. But when it comes to Father's Day, you might get some socks. You might get a bow tie or a tie. You most likely you're not even getting a gift. You might not even get a visit from your children on Father's Day. So this woman dressed up as a man for a whole month, and she said she almost unalived herself. That's how bad it is to be a man. So whenever I see women trying to step into a man's role, I'm like, sister, do you know what you're getting yourself into? I don't think you know. And I'm not saying that our sisters can't provide for themselves, can't make decisions for themselves. You know, I'm not saying that you can't do anything by yourself. You can, but I'm going to ask, why would you? Why would you want to? Why would you want to when you have a man and his job is to solve all your problems? I say it like this. Some people like it. Some people don't like it. I say women bring problems. Men solve problems. Match made in heaven. Why would you want to be a man when you can get a man to solve all your problems? Why would you want to step into a man's role when you can just get a man and he will solve all your problems? Now, I can't do nothing with you. I can't give you any advice if you don't have if you go out there and you choose the wrong man, or you choose a boy while he's still becoming a man. Because a lot of women, I'm gonna tell you right now, when you guys are complaining about men, you're not complaining about men at all. You're complaining about boys. Now, you might be with a 35-year-old adult, but that don't make him a man. See, when you're a man, you go through things. You go through a suffering. It takes a lot of suffering, a lot of trial, and a lot of error to become a man. This whole thing, this whole stigma that when you turn 18, you automatically become a man, that's not how it works. That's not how. Just because you were born a male does not make you a man. And I'm gonna say this, ladies, for the ladies who are here. Listen. Some boys, not all, some boys never become men. They can be 50, 60 years old and still have not become men. Men are made, men are fashioned. Men become men based on the trials they overcome, not by the trials they get stuck in. See, if you're making the same mistake over and over and over and over and over, at some point, you're just going to be an old fool. At some point, the best advice you can give anybody is what not to do. But see, men, we actually overcome things. We overcome our trials. We overcome when we get stuck. We figure out a way. We problem solve our way into manhood. So a lot of ladies, and I won't even say a lot, but I'll say a few women. Y'all are complaining not about men because you're complaining that you didn't get a man. You're complaining because you got a boy who's still becoming a man, and it takes trial and error and overcoming to become a man. Being a man, listen, is not. It's not an easy thing. Coming into womanhood, I would say it's easier than coming into manhood. Because when you're a man, you got to put the world on your shoulders, and you got to be able to handle everything that comes with it. So that's what that's what I'm saying. So a lot of times, you know, you just got to understand. Listen, man, the man you chose or the man that you decided to lay down with, you know, you got to pick better. You got to pick better. So quick decisions, emergency. That's when men are at their best. Heavy decisions with big consequences, that's when men are at their best. His voice needs to lead that home. And if he's wrong, guess what, ladies? If he makes a mistake, if you have a man that happens to make a mistake, because just because you're a man doesn't mean you don't make mistakes. You're just not making the same mistakes that you were making when you were younger. There are some mistakes that men are not going to make. But just in case a man does make a mistake, let me tell you what a man does. He rights his wrong. He figures out a way through the wall or over the wall that's hindering him and his family. That's the mark of a man. That's why you want a man to lead. I know how it sounds. It sounds like, you know, patriarchy, but it's not. It's about the matriarchy and the patriarchy working together. That's really what it's about, family. It's not even about the man making all. Again, men don't make all the decisions, but when it comes to decisions that are tough. When it comes to decisions that need to be made right there on the spot, that you ain't got time to think about or deliberate amongst the family, that's when men shine. Men are very good at making quick decisions. Men are very good at making tough decisions. Men are very good at responding in an emergency. That's where we come in. That's when I say, who gets the final say? It's not necessarily the man all the time. Sometimes when you have time to sit there and think about it, that woman may come up with a solution for the problem. That woman may have a say-so that can affect the family and put them in a better situation. But but majority of the time, the important decisions, leave that up to the man, because that's where he shines. If you have a man. And again, I'm not saying that women can't make decisions. I'm not saying that women can't make tough decisions. I'm not saying that some women can't make quick decisions. I'm just saying that it's the exception, not the rule. And we should not be banking on the exception to the rule. We should be banking on the rule. If you have a man in that home and you're not living in a single parent home and you have a man in that home, let that man lead. Let that man make decisions. Let that man make the tough decision. Let that man make the quick decision. Let that man make decisions in emergency. He's built for that. He's made for that. He's designed for that. Let that man protect. Let that man provide. Let that man be a man. One of the things I see that's disheartening in a lot of relationships, and I saw this video. Get the likes up, y'all. I want to bring people. I want to bring the family up, and I want to discuss it. I know I haven't been up in a long time, but I want to bring the family up, and I want to have a conversation. Y'all know how it is. Get the likes up. I'm gonna say get the likes up to 5K. Get the likes up to 5K, and I'm gonna start bringing people up because I want to have a conversation with the family. I want to see what y'all think about this. And I know, again, I've been gone for a minute, but I've been working. So this is what happens sometimes. Sometimes you gotta take a step back from social media and you gotta get some things done. And believe me, the things I'm getting done is very needed. So I got some updates to share with you guys later. But leadership is accountability. It's not ego, family. A real patriarch listens to the woman, considers his children, and then makes the call. See, what I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about a man making a decision independent of his family. I'm talking about a man making a decision interdependently with his family. The word is not independent, but the word is interdependent. Interdependency is really how we need to be moving, family. It should not be whatever the man said. It should not be whatever the woman said. And we already know it definitely shouldn't be whatever the kids say. I've seen a lot of homes where kids run that home, man. Family, listen to what I'm saying. I've seen a lot of homes where kids run the home, family. I want you to understand, that's crazy to me. The kid is hungry 5, 6, 7 times a day, and you know what, man? The parents are working. Here, eat this. Here, eat that. Give them snacks. Give them this. Let them play video games all day. If your child is playing video games all day, that child is running at home. Let's keep it a buck. If that child can stay up past, if he's a child, if you have small children and they're up past a certain amount of time at nighttime, let me tell you something, family. Whether you believe it or not, your kids are running at home, not you. You're not being a parent at all. You're not making decisions at all. The children are making decisions. So I've been in the homes where I've seen the children are running amok. If your child is getting bad grades in school and you're not on his head making sure he gets good grades, if your child is acting out in school and you're not getting on his head to make a change, if your child, listen to me, if your child is involved in gangs, okay, if your child is involved in gangs and doing crime and things like that, let me tell you, you are not in charge of that home. That child is. And that's a problem. That's a problem, family. So you got to get back control of your house. And one of the ways to do that is to have a man in the house. Majority of the time, just by having a man in that home is safer, and the children are well behaved. Majority of the time. Now, are there cases where that's not going on? Of course. But we're not here to talk about the exception. We're here to enforce the rule. So now what do our sisters do? Don't think I'm trying to leave the sisters out and I'm just going to be patriarch, because this is how a family needs to run. The matriarch is the heartbeat of the home, family. And am I saying that women need to stay home and tend to the house and all that stuff? I'm saying you do what's best for your household. If your husband needs you to work, you work. But my opinion, how I believe it is, if you want to ask my opinion on this, I don't believe a woman should have to work. I'm going to say it like that, family. I don't believe a woman should have to work, family. I believe in the beginning maybe it's needed, especially when you don't have kids. Yeah, I believe, hey man, bring in all that money, you know. Hey, she can't clean the house 24 hours a day and there's no kids in that house, man. Let your woman make some money and y'all build up, y'all save up, y'all get to the next level. I believe as men, we need to be retiring our women. Your job as a man is to liberate your household. Liberate your wife and your children first, and then stand 10 toes down with your people and liberate your people. But you can't liberate a people if your household ain't liberated. Let's keep it a buck. So your job as a man should be working hard enough, making enough income so that you don't need 2 incomes to survive. And I know some of y'all are going to say that's hard today. And if you live in expensive states like California, you might say, man, nah, man, both parents need to work. But I'm going to say, listen, man, both parents working, that's not ideal. That's not ideal. Because you can't tell me that both parents working, that something is not suffering. The kids are not suffering in some way. Financial security is not, you know, Being able to put a roof over your head and clothes on your kids' back and school clothes, that's just part of it. You got to be around if you want to influence and affect the decision making of your children. You can't just be a provider, and no one's home to raise the kid. Have you ever heard that term, latchkey kid? A lot of us grew up in the 80s, man. And by the time we make it home, our parents are still at work. Right? I'm saying that's okay, but that's not ideal. So as men, we got to be able to liberate our household, man. We got to get it to the where the wife doesn't have to work, or if she does work, maybe she has a work from home type of job where she can be there to kind of have influence over the children. And you also as a man need to be there. You can't just be 24/7 work. Now I'm not saying that you need to lose out on money to do that, but I'm saying you got to make time for your children. I'm saying that in order for your kids to become good decision makers, you as a man need to be a good decision maker, and your kids need to see you and see you making these decisions in your home, even the woman. So the ideal blueprint is whenever there's a decision, family. I gotta hold my phone. Whenever there's a decision, family. You want to, I know you've been, we've all got different upbringings, but I know in the past you might have thought that discussing finances in front of a children was a no-no. I'm gonna tell you, you should discuss finances in front of your kids. You should include your children in the decision making. You should ask them, what do they think about this? What do they think about that? And they can answer and be like, you know what? I think we should do this. Or, I don't know. I don't know what we should do. And then you need to have an answer of this is what we're going to do. You need to have a leader in the home that says, hey man, this is how we're going to move. This is how we're going to operate. This is how we're going to function. This is how the family is going to run smoother. And it needs to be man, women, and child. That when you guys come together and y'all make them decisions and y'all are planning for the future, you need to include your children in on that. Why? Because they need to learn. The only way they're going to learn is from watching you. And if you're not including them, if you're not bringing them along in the process, they can't learn nothing, family. They can't learn nothing. And again, I'm not saying that, should there be somebody in the home to always take care of the home? Yes. But I understand the times that we live in. I understand the freedom that we have. Women, listen. Sometimes the woman is making a 6-figure job, and the man, you're still, you're blue collar, you're warehouse. Your wife is corporate and you're warehouse, right? I get it. You're like, man, hey, listen, if my wife stops working, my $40,000-$50,000 ain't gonna cut it. Her 80, her 90, her 100,000, or maybe she's making 60 or 70, and you got the 40, and that's how y'all combining your income. So I understand how that works, right? But I'm saying this, listen, as men, don't be too comfortable at these jobs, man. Don't be too comfortable at a job that's not really paying enough for you to take care of your family. Now, if you're at a job that's paying you enough to take care of your family, cool. But let's keep it a buck. I'm gonna be real with y'all right now. Listen, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, depending on where you're at in the United States, is not gonna cut it. You as a man, you may start out doing warehouse, you may start out in retail, but you need to figure out quickly what your superpower is so you can advance. I don't want to hear this. I can't. You know, when you say I can't, I know you mean I don't feel like. You can't tell me you can't learn a new skill, because you sure can. You can learn a new skill if you want to. If you really want to, you can learn a new skill, family. Nothing should hold you back from taking care of your family. So if you're used to just warehouse work or heavy lifting, I get it. But you better, listen, men. You better get you a trade. If I'm not telling you all y'all men to go corporate. I'm not telling all you men to become entrepreneurs. I'm saying that's for you if you want it. But you better get you a trade, and usually trades like construction, AC repair, plumbing, electrician. Those pay enough. Those wages, you are paid enough, and you have work to where you can continue taking care of your family. And maybe your wife just picks up a part-time job. Or maybe she doesn't want a part-time job. Maybe she wants to work, and you got but y'all got money to make sure the kids are taken care of, and that somebody's around them, mentoring them and making sure they get to the next level. But again, that's what you got to figure out with your family. I'm telling you that when it comes to a household, you need to have a family. You need to have family meetings. You need to be talking to your kids. You need to be including them in the decision-making process in your home. You need to be listening to your wife. You need to be listening to your wife and what her perspective is. And as a man, you need to make the decision that you know logically is best for your family. See, as a man, we don't get the luxury of feelings. As a man, you don't get the luxury of feelings. Okay? You don't get that luxury, family. Feelings to a man, it's not that we don't have them, because we do. We just don't have the luxury. It's not about, men don't do what they feel like. Men do what they must and have to do. We have something deeper than a feeling that drives us. We have a must and a have. We must do this. We have to do this. We need to do this. That's the only luxury we have. When it comes to feelings, no. We have them. We have feelings, but we know feelings aren't facts. If men operated on feelings, we would never build anything. We would never build anything. We would quit. Because everything would be too hard. Everything would be too tough. So we as men, we understand that, hey man, it's not about thing will be too tough. So we as men, we understand that, hey man, it's not about feelings with us. I'm trying to my bad, family. I'm here. I'm trying to keep this phone situated, but it's not working, so I'm gonna just hold it like this. As a man, we just don't have that luxury. We don't have that luxury, family. So I know some of you women out there, like, I want to create a safe place for my husband to be vulnerable and open up. No. Feelings lead to vulnerability. Feelings lead to vulnerability. Again, I'm not saying that men shouldn't have a safe space. Men shouldn't be vulnerable. But I'm saying that, matter of fact, I'm going to say it like this. The only time a man needs to be vulnerable is in the bedroom with his wife. Men, that's the only time you should be vulnerable. That's the only time men need a safe space. When you're in the bedroom with your wife, as a man, you need to figure out what it is. If you don't know how to please a woman, you better figure it out. Figure out how to please your woman. And you may suck in the beginning, but you're gonna get better over time. And that's the only place I say that men probably need a safe space. Because if you really don't know what you're doing, you just don't know what you're doing, and it can be embarrassing. It can be embarrassing. And women, you know, I'm going to tell you right now, it's better to grow with your partner in the bedroom than to go find somebody else. Because the person that is probably going to be the best in the bedroom is probably not going to be the one that treats you right. Let's just keep it a buck. That man that's going to put it on you, that you looking for to put it on you because maybe your husband or your boyfriend ain't doing it the right way, I'm telling you, it's better just to, you know, work with your man and get him to where he needs to be, than to go out there and find that brother that's going to put it on you, wreck your household and all that stuff. Just, you know, smacks isn't everything. Okay? But men, you better learn how to put it down. But as far as vulnerability goes, that's the only time a man, I think, should be vulnerable. That's the only time I think, you know, y'all need to be open and honest and have those feelings. Other than that, men, we don't got luxury for feelings. You don't want your man walking around emotional and in his feelings and crying and complaining and you know, no. You want a man strong, you want a man masculine, and you want him ready for whatever comes his way. You want him on his job and on his role, protecting and providing for the family. That's what you want. Now I'm gonna just chop it up to, man, I haven't been on in a while, family. You know, a lot of people don't know I'm on, and cause I know I'm giving some good information to the family. You know, if at anything, I'm giving you a different perspective, or maybe, you know, a different mindset or viewpoint on how to run a family. But it's my opinion, and it's not even my opinion really. It's just the way we used to do things. I think the old traditions are the best. I think that men are builders. Women are more powerful when they're nurturing, and children need to watch and see both parents in action so they can be complete. I'm not saying nobody can be a single, you know, I was raised by a single father. So I'm not saying that single parents, single mothers, single fathers can't do a good job raising children. And I'm not even saying that all the time that two-family households. I think two-family households struggle with raising kids. But I'll tell you one thing. A man who's working, a woman who's at home, and children who are being homeschooled, I'm telling you, they got a better chance than anybody, than any kid going to public school. Then a child growing up with both his parents has a better chance than any child growing up in a single household. I'm saying they got the best of chance to become all they need to become and more. That's what I'm saying. So who gets the final say? Who gets the final say? Who makes the decisions in your home? Is it you? Is it your husband? Is it your kids? Shit. You know? Who gets the final? I gotta hold this thing like this, fam. Hold on. I'm trying to get there, family. I'm trying to get this thing on. I might just take it off this screen right here, but it seems like when I hold it right here, it's the best. But who makes the decision in your home? Who gets the final say when there's a tough decision that arises? Who makes the decision? Who gets the final say in that home? Do you have a man in that home? Do you have a woman in that home? Who's making the decision? So that's what I wanted to discuss with the family today. Somebody asked me, said, man, go back into your relationship box. Get the family up to speed. I'm gonna tell you, let me touch on the relationship between children and their parents. Let me tell you something. So here's where most families mess up. We mess up when we think kids can't make decisions on their own. That's wrong. Kids make decisions. They make decisions, family, but they need guidance. They need guidance and they need boundaries. if you never let them practice small choices, how will they handle big life choices? You know, one thing, you know, I was talking to one of my buddies the other day, and he's one of my childhood friends. And he grew up with a single mother, and I grew up with a single father, right? And he was going through life saying, man, you know, my mom was treating me like I was my sister. I couldn't go out at a certain time. I couldn't do this at a certain time. But I saw you. You had more freedom than me. You were able to move and come and go as you please with your father around. And I said, you know what, man? It wasn't freedom because my dad was strict. My dad was very strict growing up. But one thing I did earn from my dad was I earned his trust. It wasn't freedom that I had. I just had my dad trusted me. My dad wasn't trying to lock me up in a box. He knew he raised me the right way, and he trusted what he put into me to stay in me and for me to do the right things. I was able to stay out even on a school day past 12. Now here's the crazy part. I was able to do that, but I never abused it. I always came home at a reasonable time. I always had my homework done. I always had my room clean. I always had things done. So when I was out, my dad knew what he took care of this, and that. So let him come out. And my dad also knew I was going to come back at a reasonable time. I never really, technically, I never had a curfew. I never heard my dad say, be in the house by this time. But I was always in the house before 12 midnight. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Sometimes I would push it to 12. Sometimes I would push it to 1 or 2. Just depends. But I was always ready to wake up, go to school the next morning, take care of business. My dad trusted me. That's the key. He trusted me. It wasn't that I had freedom, because let me tell you something. If I did something wrong or if I messed up, guess what? Those privileges that I thought I had would be revoked real quick. I had discipline and I had structure growing up, and my dad knew how to take the video game, have that talk with me, whatever it took to get me on the right path. My dad knew what needed to be done. And we were just comparing the two. His mom treated him like, hey man, like, you know, he was going, you know, that he was going to be in trouble or something bad was going to happen. So he had to be in the house by 7, 8 p.m. Oftentimes, I was still over his house at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. And then I'd mosey my way on back home, go home, whatever, eat. You know, I tell my dad I've already eaten, you know, over what such and such house, wake up, go to school the next morning, and that was it. Whereas this brother, hey man, he couldn't spend the night at my house. He couldn't stay out past this time. He had to be in a certain area at a certain time. And I'm saying, you know your kids. You have to, if you're not raising your kids, how do you know what your kids can handle and what they can't handle? FBA homes thrive when kids choose their own clothes or meals with guidelines, sit in family meetings and share their perspectives, learn the weight of decisions early under family supervision. That's when kids thrive. That's when kids thrive, family. Kids thrive when you are nurturing them and you are giving them structure and you are giving them guidance. Not making the decision for them all the time. Sometimes you have to, but not all the time. You need to let your kids make some decisions, and then you say, you know what, that's a good decision or that's a bad decision. I don't like that. This is what I want you to do next time. You need to allow them to make decisions under a watchful eye, under the guidance of mother and father. So let me give you all the blueprint for family decisions. Small decisions, family discussions, even kids give input. Medium decisions, husband and wife co-decide, guided by logic and family well-being. Major or urgent or high consequence decisions, man, let that man make the final call after hearing all the family. Major decisions, that's always gonna that's gonna affect the family. You need to have a family meeting you need to weigh all the options, hear all the perspective, and then as a man, you need to make that decision. You need to pull that. You need to call that shot. This is called interdependent decision making. We move as a unit, but respect the family hierarchy. That's how we gotta move. That's how we gotta be, family. That's how we gotta be, family. That's the way to go. Now, I know, like I said, it's been a while since I've been on, so if anybody wants to come up, I know we ain't even hit the goal yet of the likes. We do about 10K likes, but I'm gonna run a little bit early. If the family wants to chop it up, that's cool. If not, man, I got some coding that I still need to do. I got some tests I need to run for this FBA coin, and I can get back to that. But I wanted to come back because I haven't seen the family in a long time. I've been busy, and I wanted to chop it up with you guys. And again, somebody told me to, hey man, I need to hit on this relationship a little bit more. So that's why I'm here. So if anybody wants to come up, just come on up. Come on up and let's chop it up. And I want you to answer the question: who makes the final decision in your home? Who gets the final say in your home? And why? And I'm not going to judge you. I just want to know who makes the final decision in your home. Y'all let me know, family. I'm gonna bring some people up. Shit. Where y'all at tonight? Let me see here. We ain't got that many people in the room, so bring up Lady T. I made everybody up in the room. Come on up. Let's talk. Let's chop it up. Let's chop it up. If not, I'm gonna take off, man. I think I said what I needed to say. I just think the FBA family, we gotta run as a unit, not just independent thinkers, but interdependent thinkers. We need to always have what's best for the family in mind. Now, if it's just you and the kids, then that's what you got. That's what you got. If it's just you and your husband and no kids, then that's what you got. That's what you got. But who gets the final say? Who gets the final say? To me, I say the man gets the final say because he's going to get blamed regardless. And especially if you have a man in the home. Not just talking about having a male in the home or somebody of age in the home. I'm talking about you have a man that's been tried and tested and proven. And he has victories under his belt. He's overcome some things. Came on the other side victorious. That's a man. That's a man. I don't want to hear about boys who are still struggling with women, with fidelity, with being honest. Real men don't lie. If you're still having to make up lies, that's what boys do. That's what people do when they're trying to avoid accountability. I'm talking about men who are stand-up men in the community who are men of principle, not of convenience. If you're a person of convenience, I don't consider you a man. A man is always going to have a set of principles that he lives by. A man is principled. If you're a principled person, you're most likely a man. If you're a principled woman, that's amazing too. We need both. We need principled men and women today. Not people of convenience. Not people that are just straddling the fence. We need people who have strong conviction not people who are going to be out here just, you know, whichever way the wind blows, you know, they really ain't got no stand on business in them. You know, they're just going to do whatever is the most convenient, because we know what happens when we have people of convenience. All we got to do is look at politics. All these politicians, they're not people of strong conviction or strong character. They're people of convenience. Because the moment somebody has the right dollar amount, they can be bought. People who have principle, they can't be bought. Principled people can't be bought because they live by a set of principles, and their principles and their principles come before the money. Doing the right thing will always supersede money. Man, forgive me, family. I'm about to head out then, because I don't see nobody want to hop in the room and chop it up. Because this food I'm eating is good. Jesus Christ. So let me just go ahead and hop off then, family. Hey, listen, I'm back. I just want to chop it up with y'all for a little bit. I still got some work to do, so probably Monday everything will be back to the same time as normal. I'll wake up and I'll start chopping up with the family. We'll keep our foot to plow. Hold on, I got somebody that want to chop it up. Hold on. Uh-oh. This is the foreign flag. Uh-oh. This is the foreign flag. Uh-oh. What's up, Grebo?
What's up, bro?
Talk to me, brother. Who gets the final say so in your home, brother?
What do you mean, like the man or the woman?
I'm just asking you. Who gets the final say in your home, brother?
It depends on the situation.
Who makes the decisions? Who gets the final say? So if the woman is against and you're for it, who are you listening to?
Well, it depends on the situation. Like, I mean, if it's something that, yeah, I don't really know, but it depends on the situation. I guess you just kind of have to give me some examples of what you mean.
Your job is in Dubai for a year. Family don't want to leave.
Yeah.
What do you? Wife says don't take that job,
Well,
but you're like, nah, this job is going to put us in this situation over here. It's not a trick question.
Yeah. Well,
it's just what is just
no, it's not.
Who gets the final say in your home when it comes to tough decisions, when it comes to quick decisions, when it comes to stalemates? Who breaks that stalemate?
Well, I would say me. But again, it really just depends. If you're asking me, like, if I'm using that Dubai analogy you just gave, I guess I would try to convince my partner why it's best for us to go over there, and if my partner still didn't want to, I would try to come to a
What if
common
she
ground
says?
first
What
before.
if she says you can go over there, but I'm gonna keep the family here?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm gonna try to come to a common ground, and if that doesn't work out, then well, I mean, I don't like to be a selfish person, a selfish man. So I want to do what's in the best interest of my family overall.
Okay.
But if it's at the end of the day, if I have to make that decision to, I don't know if I have to.
Okay. So are you married?
Not yet.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay. Young man.
I'll be 25 next month.
Young man. What makes how do you know you're a man and not a boy?
Responsibilities. Being yes, first responsibilities, and then I would say emotional intelligence. Really, because when you're a man, if you got to be able to control your emotions, and then you also got to be able to take care of your responsibilities. That's what makes you a man.
Okay. Do you consider yourself a man right now?
Yeah,
Really? You
yeah,
think
I
you
would say
failed? You
so.
think you failed enough? You think you succeeded enough?
Well, success depends on how you view it. Somebody could have somebody could have $1 million, right? And to them that's success. And then somebody could have $200,000 and move somewhere else, and to them that's success. So it just depends.
You know what success is, man?
Yeah, I think I do, yeah.
Okay, tell me what success is.
I think success is when you're able to take care of your family, when you're able to take care of your responsibilities, when you have emotional intelligence, and when you just don't have too much drama going on at home, when you have peace. I think when you have peace, not just with your family, but with yourself, uh, I think that's success.
Did you grow up
When
with
you're
both your
not,
parents?
what was that?
Did you grow up with both your parents?
No, not like my biological mother, no, but the father, yeah,
Okay.
he just was with somebody else.
Okay. So you had you grew up with your father or your mother?
My father.
Your father. Okay. Your mom.
So that's because my mom's back home.
Okay.
That's kind of,
Okay.
well, they never got married, so like they just never was yeah, you know what I mean? They never got married. Yeah, I grew up with my dad.
Okay. What was that like for you?
It was a little, I won't lie, it was a little shaky. I won't lie, my dad was he wasn't a good person. I'm not gonna lie, man. He wasn't a good person at all. Even to this day, we don't
Mm.
got good relations. But I don't hate him for it. But I think that's what makes me a man as well. Like I've moved on from it. I don't dislike him or hate him, but the end of the day, I've got two girls, and I think I want my
You
kids
got two
to
girls.
grow
You
up
got two
better
kids
than I
together.
did. Yeah, and one
You
more
got two kids
coming, and
already.
that should be the
Okay.
yeah, one more
Is this the
coming, and that
woman
should
you're
be
gonna
my
marry or
last.
what?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. 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 How old is she?
Same age as me. Turned She turns 25 in December.
Struggle love.
I turn
That's what I
25 in
call it.
September.
Struggle love. That's what I call it.
Nah, we ain't struggling though. That's the thing. I would
When
say
I
that
say
I mean,
struggle love, when I say struggle love, I'm not talking about money.
oh, okay.
I'm not talking.
Okay. I guess in what context?
See, struggle love is she has to struggle with the decision making that you're going to make because you know people think because they turn 18 or because they hit their mid 20s that they're men, that they're grown. That woman, especially if y'all are getting married in your 20s and you're in your 20s and she's in her 20s, she as a woman has to go through life with you making decisions, and she has to be able to sit there and struggle with you as you figure it out. That's why struggle love in the
Yeah, that's
beginning.
part of life.
She has to sit there and struggle with your decision because she may not like everything, all the decisions that you make. You may make some wrong decisions. You may put the family back instead of put the family forward. Not because you're trying to do that, but just because you're figuring out life. You don't have life figured out all the way yet. See, from 18, I'm gonna give you the game real
That's
quick.
true.
From 18 to 29, that's when men suffer the most. That's when you
I
suffer
agree.
the most. That's when you fail the most. That's when you're trying to figure things out because you really don't know what you're getting yourself into until you get into it.
That's
Something
true.
happens at 30. You figure in from 18 to 29, you figure out what your superpower is, you figure out how to make money, all this stuff. From 30 years old, you develop leadership skills. That's when you really become a leader. That's when you're around 35 to 40. That's when you're able to really to lead a family because you figure out leadership. Your peers say, hey, your peers confirm you are who you say you are. Your peers say, man, I trust this dude. Your peers say, you know what? If this man says we're going into the fire, I'm going to follow him because I know he's going to come out on the other end. Your peers are the ones that are telling you, you know what? You have leadership skills because I'm based on what you say and what you do. I'm influenced by that. That happens in your 30s. Your late 30s, early 40s, that's when you have something I call clarity. That's when you've been there, done that. Everything looks, not that everything is mundane and just the same. You still have new challenges, but now you're able to handle new challenges because your mind is mature. You've had some successes, you've had some failures, and you learn from every single one. And now you're able to see the playing field more clearly once you get to your 40s. Me personally, I tell men, wait till you're at least 35 before you get married. Because in your 20s, you don't know anything. In your 20s, when you have children, your children are going to grow up with you. How old was you when your dad had you? I mean, how old was your dad? I'm sorry. How old was your dad when he had you?
I think he was like 20.
How old was he?
I believe it was 22.
So he was young, right?
22.
Right. So
Yeah,
you
22.
probably didn't get the best version of your dad. You got your dad when he was still a kid. And when you're still
Yeah,
a
no,
kid, you make a lot of
I see
mistakes.
what you're saying. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I see what you're saying. I don't necessarily disagree. But I think there can be differences. But to your point, though, I do understand your point in the grand scheme of things because most people fall under the category of what you're talking about. But that is part of life because you're correct. Most men do go through a trial period where they're finding themselves in their 20s. That's all part of the journey. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
But for me personally, right, I see myself as like a little different from I guess my dad in a way because like again I obviously I just want to, if like my kids, I want them to be I want them to grow up and like have like a support system. You know what I mean? That I feel like maybe I didn't have, that wasn't provided to me in a sense.
Of course.
Especially like, yeah, so even if I can't do everything 100%, I feel like being there for them at least in an emotional way and showing them the right way to do things
Let
without
me ask you this:
traumatizing them.
how do you know how much attention you should give them and how little attention you should give them? How do you know that?
Well, that's a good question. That's not really something I've thought about. The way I just go about it is I think that love wins. So, just, loving your children all the time, even if they are making mistakes, and trying to teach them to
Hold
do things
on. Hold
the
on.
correct.
Hold
Go
on.
ahead.
Now you're sounding. Now, no disrespect to any woman that's listening, but now you're sounding like how women think.
How
You as a
so?
man, right? Your job is to instill structure and discipline in those kids because that's what they need more than nurture. Not that man
Oh,
can't nurture. Not that
oh,
man can't
absolutely.
nurture. Not that man
Oh,
can't
no, no.
nurture. But when I ask you a specific question, how do you know how much time you need to spend and how much time you don't need to spend with the child? Each child is different, right?
Oh,
No,
absolutely. If you
right,
mean it in that sense, then
right.
yes, I
So,
think I
so
understand your
this is what
question
I'm
now.
saying. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying you're a young man at 24. How old are your kids?
3, 4.
3 and 4. They've already been growing up with you.
Yeah,
As you're being raised to become a man, you're raising children, and they're watching you become. Instead of
yeah.
you are who you are. Because the way you are in your 20s, let me just give you the example. You're not going to be the same in your 30s.
I agree.
You're not going to be this. You're not going to think the same in your 40s. Now, there are some core things that you have as a man because men are simple. The way you are in high school is probably going to be the way you are all through life, but there are going to be some differences, perspective differences. Maybe the job you thought you wanted when you were in high school, you're in a different, totally different field in your 30s and 40 years old because you figured out, A, this is not for me, and B, this one's more better for me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So your kids are growing up with you. So as you make mistakes, your kids are going to see those mistakes.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I see your question now. So as far as structures and stuff like that, yeah, that like see, there's a difference between like loving your children. Well, not really a difference. It all kind of falls under the same thing, but you can love your children and obviously be there for them in a way where I feel like maybe my parent wasn't there for me, right? But I also understand as a man that I have to keep things structured, right? That I know that's my job. I know, for example, like if it's like, let's say if it's like bedtime, right? It's bedtime. It's time to
What
go to.
time is bedtime?
It depends. Like if it's school, like say
What time is bedtime?
well, that's what I'm trying to explain to you. So it depends. If it's like school, if they have school, then the time is set at probably like 9:30. But if it's like summertime, then it's like they get a little bit more freedom where it's like I'm not really in a rush to send them to bed, right? But if that time comes where I feel like you need to go to bed, you're gonna go to bed, if that makes sense. But if we're operating on school time, then yes, I understand they have to go to sleep because it's school time, then yes, I understand they have to go to sleep because it's important. It's school. They have school in the morning.
You know
They
when
gotta wake
bedtime
up.
was, you know when bedtime was for me when I was a little child and I was growing up.
Most of us, it was like 8 o'clock, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So what changed? What changed?
I think, well, for me, like, because I think everything is a little different. But I think what changed could be simply, I think it just depends on who you are and how you grew up, right? And I think how I grew up has to do something with it a little bit. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't really want to send my kids to bed at like 8 or 7 or something like that because for me personally, I feel like that's maybe a little too early. Um, because I know kids, especially at the age they're at, need at least like 9, 10 hours of sleep. So I feel like them going to bed at like 9, 9:30, and waking up at like 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, that's sufficient.
Okay, walk me through a school day. You said the girls are 3 and 4.
Yeah, your kids wake up, your kids go to sleep, they wake up, you make them breakfast, you get them ready, and then you get them ready for their bus. You just give them a hug, put them on their bus, and they go. Bye bye, they go, and then they come back later. You wait for them, pick them up from the bus, bring them back, and have food prepared. And yeah, and just ask them if they have any homework, and then just go from there.
Okay, okay. Are they are they hyper kids? Are they bouncy or are they kind of calm? Which kind of kids do you have? Are they both or what?
I would say hyper girls. So, uh, hyper, yeah, for sure, hyper.
How do you calm them down?
Um, to be honest, the best way to calm them down is to use. For me, I try to use like a tactic of like trying to reward them. You know what I mean? Like because I feel like I don't know. For me, I feel like parenting in a way, if you just are constantly like yelling at your kids, that doesn't work. Um, or constantly punishing them, I feel like doesn't work. Obviously, you can punish them for certain things, so they learn from it. But it depends on their age as they grow up, right? But at the age that they're at, I feel like they do deserve that love from you as a parent, because they will remember that when they get to a certain age, they will remember that. And plus, it influences them in a way where, as your kids grow, they'll feel more comfortable coming to you. Say if they were having some kind of emotional distress or something, they'll be more confident to come to you because they understand that you love and care about them. So how I just go about it is like kind of a system of rewarding them, like where it's like, if you don't do this, I'm not gonna give you this, or hey, if you do this, I'll give you this. You know what I mean? And they get excited, that type of thing. But obviously, as they grow, like let's say they hit age 7 when they're toddlers, or 6 and stuff like that, then you kind of, you know, maybe be just slightly tough on them, just a little bit, but not too much, and then as they grow like 10, 11, 12, then that's when you really, really, get a little bit more tougher on them, and then start teaching them why things are the way that they are, and why they shouldn't do certain things, why certain things are wrong. When they're around that age, that's when you start like taking things away, maybe like a video game, or you know what I mean? Just stuff like that. So it just kind of depends. As I feel like for me, it depends on age.
Okay. Do they watch a lot of TV?
Yeah,
Okay. What shows are they watching?
just kid shows.
Give me one. What,
Like
what, what kind of kid show? Which show?
like Barney shows like that, or like
They still got
uh
Barney. They still got Barney.
nah, like they don't got it on live TV, but we just put it on. Some of the things that we watched growing up, like Barney, or I don't know, like
What are they watching? Do you know what
yeah,
they're
like
watching?
Magic School.
Are they?
Huh?
Do they still got
I mean, my
Baby
lady's the
Shark?
one that puts it on for them most of the time.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay. So, do they still got Baby Shark?
No, they don't. No, they don't watch that. No.
You know, Baby Shark. They still got that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, they don't watch that no
What
more.
about
They're a little too old for that.
what about Blues Clues? Do they still have Blues Clues, or they don't have Blues Clues anymore?
No, there's really like 3 shows that they like to watch. And they always kind of ask to put that on.
Okay. Okay.
Cause kids, like if you put something on, like they'll like let you know pretty much that they don't want that.
Right. Right. They'll be like, put this on. Do they know how to? Do they know how to swipe, and go on YouTube and find them little shows and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, how do you handle conflict with the kids? How do you handle conflict? Like, do they
What do
do
you
they
mean by?
ever do they ever fight amongst each other?
Oh, that, yeah, yeah, they fight, especially they're girls, so they fight. Um, I mean, the best way to just handle that is, I mean, obviously if they're like one's older than the other, if they're fighting, you separate them. You let them know why they shouldn't be fighting, but you do it in like a loving way. You don't do it in like a way where you're making the
Do you
kids like
ever
feel
do you ever just
intimidated.
watch them? Do you ever just watch them and see how
Yeah,
they handle
sometimes.
conflict on their own before you step in?
Yeah,
Or do
yeah,
you,
yeah. We do that.
who who
You,
usually win in that situation? Who's usually winning when you let them figure out what they're going to do? Who which one is more dominant than the other?
um,
Which one? What's up,
I would
David?
say I don't really think anyone is more dominant since they're so close in age. But sometimes they can be one could be kind of, I don't want to say bullying, but like one could kind of
Which
be
one
like
is that your
making the other
oldest? Is
one
that your
mad.
youngest? Is that your oldest or the youngest? Which one?
That's what I'm saying. It kind of flip flops. Like say
Flip flop.
let's use an example. Like let's say there's a toy that they're fighting over. Let's say the older one wants the toy, she'll pull it from the younger one, and the younger one will be screaming, right? And then vice versa. Sometimes it happens the reverse, where the younger one's pulling the toy, and then
And
the
what do you
older
do
one's
when they
crying for it.
scream for the toy? How do you handle that? What do you do when they scream for the toy?
You either just try to find a you well first you tell them to stop, right? You separate you try to like find a solution to the conflict by first telling them to stop. And then if the conflict persists, well then you can either try to find like another toy for the other person, or you know what I mean, like give the other person something else to make
Do
them
you
feel
teach them
satisfied.
about sharing? Do you teach them the principle of sharing?
Yeah, yeah, all the time. Like my lady will tell like the older one sometimes
Do
like
you and your
give
lady
your
live
sister
together?
some.
Do you and your lady live together?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. How long you guys been living together?
Sir,
How long have you guys been living together?
a little while.
Two
A little
years, three
while.
years, two
Nah,
years, three
nah,
years,
under that. But still
a year and a half,
no
a year
no
and a
no, no
half.
just a little under, a little under.
Okay. So you guys are so when she first got pregnant, the baby stayed with her.
Uh,
When she first got pregnant, the baby stayed with her. Who had the
yeah.
kids when she first? So she was raising them in the beginning, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You don't know?
Yes, yes sir, yeah.
Okay. 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 And then you guys just started living together for about nine. Let's say 9 months. Let's say 9 months. How is that? How is
Yeah.
that working? How
Yeah.
is that working for you guys right now? How is that? How is that dynamic of living with her opposed to not living with her? If she's
I just think
there,
it's a good.
go ahead.
Well, I think as adults we both have our strength in certain ways. So I think it's beneficial for the kids. Like how they say. Um, I mean, obviously a woman. Personally, I think it takes a woman to raise woman, but even though it takes a woman to raise a woman, you still need to you know, be able to raise your daughters. You know what I mean? Like, still, just so they don't like grow up and
Let me get a.
turn into some of these women out here. They're just really bad. If you know what I mean. That just you know what I
Is
mean,
your
man. Just some of these women out here
is
that
your
just
yeah,
don't
I got you. I got you. Is your
have
wife
any
more
kind
on
of
the
training.
liberal side or the or is your wife more or your woman, your girlfriend? You're not married yet, but your soon to be wife. Is she more on the liberal side or conservative side?
That's a good question. I would say she's more maybe in the middle, but maybe leaning a little toward. I don't really know, but I would say she's more in the middle on what
Okay.
we've chatted about as far as like politics, because she believes in God. I do too. Um, we do believe in that like nucleus family type of thing. So
Okay.
um, if that
Did
makes
she
sense. You
have
know what
both
I
her
mean?
parents
So I,
growing
I
up?
would say yeah,
Did she have both her parents growing up? Okay. Good. Okay. Okay. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. I see you got a Nigerian. Is that a Nigerian flag? What is that?
No, I'm
Your
on
break. Is that a
Liberian.
Nigerian flag or Liberia? Is that Liberia?
Libya and Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast. Okay.
Liberia and
Okay.
Ivory Coast.
Okay. Well, is your woman also? Is she also from there, or is she also from the continent of Africa, or what?
No, she's from here, but she's Jamaican.
She's Jamaican. Okay. 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 So a slightly different culture. Not too much.
Yeah, yeah, just slightly different. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Uncle Waffle House. Okay. So let me just give you the quick game. I'm not gonna bore you, man, because I'm probably not gonna be up here too long. But I appreciate you being honest and chopping up with me. Um, just know this, and this is true for all things. What I'm about to tell you is true for all things. Women are
I'm
one way
listening.
in their 20s. Women are one way in their 20s. They're another way in their 30s, and by the time they hit 40, they're a totally different person. That's what you're gonna learn.
Yep.
They're emotional. They got ups and downs. They're happy one minute, they're sad the next minute, and a lot of times that happens within the same day. You're gonna say something, you're gonna do something that's gonna piss them off. They might not tell you. They'll just be, they'll give you an attitude all day, or they'll be silent all day. Okay. Um. I gotta say it like this. Listen. Trials and tribulations work out differently for men than they do for women. Trials and
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
tribulations
That's true.
make you as a man stronger, but too many trials and too many tribulations make that woman bitter. Your only job as a man is to not let her go through too many trials and tribulations.
That's true. Yeah.
You keep outside, and you protect inside as much as possible. The more time she sees you win and succeed, the more she's gonna trust you. The more she
That's
sees
true.
you fail, the less she's gonna trust you.
That's also true. I don't disagree.
Okay? Your job as a man, and I'm gonna give you a phrase that I live by. There are no such things as right or wrong decisions. There are only decisions that you make and decisions that you make right. Your only job as a man when dealing with that woman who have your children is to make it right.
I agree.
Become a make it right type of man, and she'll love you in the long run. Most marriages and most relationships, they don't last like they used to, especially in their 20s. Just statistically, they don't last.
That is true.
You have to understand you are going, that's why I call it struggle love. You are in the midst of struggle love. She is going to struggle with every decision you make.
Brother,
Okay?
you preaching, brother. You laying it down.
Oh
All
yeah,
facts, he's saying. All of it. All facts.
I'm giving y'all the game, man. I got to. So just understand and know that, man. Listen, you may think you're a man right now. Trust me, you haven't touched the ice. You haven't failed enough yet.
That's true.
She's going to tell you, oh, I'm going to create a safe space for you. I want you to be vulnerable. And I'm going to tell you, don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. Do not fall for that. That's the oldest trick in the book. Because the moment she sees your vulnerability and she sees that chip, that chink in your armor, she is now has to struggle with, can I manipulate this guy to get him to do what I want him to do? That's the struggle of women. The struggle of women is manipulation. Everything is a power struggle. Who's gonna lead? If she sees you weak in any area, she's gonna think, oh well, because he failed here, I gotta lead, or I gotta do this. And the moment you cry, you complain, you become vulnerable, she's gonna use that against you. Not because she wants to, not even because she even knows what she's doing. It's just something that all women struggle with. They struggle with, can I manipulate my man to do what I want him to do?
Yes, sir. Brother, can I share something with you right quick? Y'all, everyone that's listening, this is divine guidance we're getting. And he's sharing this with that young man so he understands. I'm an older gentleman, and everything he's telling him is absolutely true. 100% because I lived it. And my boys didn't follow in my footsteps because of it. But you telling the truth, bro. And more people need to hear this.
Man,
Because see, it's
No,
a
I
lot of
don't.
people
I
just
mean,
flapping all over the place. You on it, straight to the point. That's what everybody need to hear.
yeah, man.
You
I'm
on
telling you
that, dog.
things. I'm telling you things that I can say most men are not telling their sons.
oh yeah, man, and I appreciate it because everything you're saying, I don't disagree at all. Um, like I said, like me, I already, just what we talked about earlier as far as me
Mhm.
growing up and stuff. So I've already kind of seen some stuff, so I know me personally, everything you said is true, but for me personally, I know like that's why for me I can't really be with a woman that doesn't allow me to like lead, not in the sense like where um what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thoughts. But basically what I'm trying to say is that I can't really be with somebody that can't allow me to lead or understand uh where I'm coming from as a man. But I mean, the woman I'm with, I think she allows me to do that, and I appreciate that. And I don't take it for like granted or anything,
That's good. That's
because
good.
that's like hard to find.
There's nothing wrong with struggle love, brother. There's nothing wrong with it. Just that it's what it is. It's struggle love. It's not about money. It's always about the decision making of that man.
Yeah,
She's
that's
going to
true.
have to suffer with you, and that's commendable. Anybody who gets married or starts a relationship at a young age and they decide to stick it out through thick and thin, let me tell you something, man. That's a special relationship.
Yeah,
That's a
that's true.
special. That's a special woman, and I'll say if she stuck with you, you make don't mistreat that woman. If she's willing to go with you through all your ups and downs, your pains, your struggle, and still stand by your side, don't don't mistreat that woman when times get really really good. Because let me tell you something, man. It's the mind that I have now. Think about what older people always say. If I had my mind that now back when I was 20, I'd be the most dangerous man alive.
Yeah, that you're
That's
not
true.
wrong, man. Because I be saying the same thing. Like I
Every
always,
man, see what I love about the brotherhood that's special that men have. It's not a hate. When I see you, I'm not. There's no jealousy and there's no competition. It's I see myself in you. And I want you to have the mind that I have, so you don't go through and make the mistakes that I made.
right.
I
But
want you
fam,
to become better. That's how all men really think when we're talking to young men. It's never like, "Hey, man, I want your girl," or I know it's man. Listen, man, I want you to watch out for these minds that are about to blow up because you don't see it coming, but it's coming. It's not.
too
It's
much.
not a matter of. It's not a matter of what's going to happen. It's when it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I
What?
need you on other panels because you dropping science, son.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You
I'm back.
dropping science. He's speaking facts, dog. The
Yeah.
actual facts is what we call it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with everything he said.
No,
Oh
he's a
yeah.
behavioral scientist and he's also divine. That's what I was trying to tell y'all. It's a divine source feeding him. It's feeding
Oh yeah.
him and
Oh yeah.
he's
Oh yeah.
eloquently expressing it.
Oh yeah.
Straight to the point.
Oh yeah.
No
Oh yeah.
BS.
Oh yeah. Exactly. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. When you say divine, yeah, I mean, I listen to my ancestors and I follow the Most High, man. I believe men should be men of principle, not men of convenience. Men of convenience fail, men of principle win, and they withstand the test of time. If you're
That's
not a
true.
man of principle, you're not a man. If you're a man of convenience, you're still a boy. And if you're a man of convenience, that means you can be bought. But if you're a man of principle, you don't chase money, money chases you. And you're not really concerned about money because, if you're a man of principle, you're gonna get what you deserve in life. And that's
That's
always
true.
gonna be enough. Men of principle don't necessarily are not necessarily the richest men out there. They can be,
Nope.
but not necessarily.
Nope.
Because a lot of times, we'll pass up the money because we understand what comes with that money. All money isn't good money.
Nope.
That's true.
I want to stay free and I want to take care of my family. Even though my kids are grown, I
That's it.
still have to take care of them
That's it.
until I expire.
That's it.
I'm 55. I ain't super old, but I'm just saying.
Actually, I'm 45, so yeah,
Mm.
that's it. That's it. So it's a different ballgame in your 40s than it is in your 30s and then in your 20s. To
It
me,
changes in your 50s. It
yeah.
changes. It don't change till you turn 55 when you become a senior citizen. That's
So
when it hits you like a brick wall.
I agree. So statistically, you're not. I don't care how much money you make in your 20s and 30s. That's just play money.
Hmm.
But the money you make between 40 and 65, you're going to make the most amount of money between 40 and 65.
That's a fact. Are you a professor somewhere, dog?
No, I'm just, man, I was blessed to just have a really good father and uncles
Yes.
and insight that the Most High and I've been through. I grew up fast. I grew up faster than most. So
You could work my mentor. He's 65.
you know, I mean, I just been through it. I've seen a lot of things. From the age of 16 to 21, I probably done most than men in their 30s and their 40s.
Now
And
you got some divinity, something supernatural that's guiding you to share this
of course,
information because you
of
don't
course,
have to.
of course. No, man, I feel compelled to. It's not a have to. I feel compelled to because I understand that we're in a different time. As the Foundation of Black America, we're in a renaissance right now, and it's an all out war on our youth right now.
It is.
And we went through the 80s and the 90s and the
Yes.
2000s, and that messed us up.
You the age of my youngest brother, yeah.
That messed us up, man. The crack epidemic, I saw it firsthand. Take out homes, take out families. Listen,
Man,
listen. There's a reason why the younger generation don't respect the older generation because we still have that mantra: "Do as I say, not as I do."
right. That's right.
That killed us.
Hmm.
That was the most terrible thing you can live by. Do as I say. You over here tipping and sipping, but you gonna tell your son not to drink.
That's
That's the
boy,
most
you dropping some
terrible.
knowledge now.
That's the most terrible type of
Call at me.
that. I mean, listen. We have enough examples of what not to do. We need more examples of what to do.
Fam, do you know I'm a mentor? Do you know how the youth would listen to you? Especially in regards to some of the things you touching on, because they can avoid a lot of darts once they graduate high school and they got it early. Because a lot of men don't get that at
Yeah,
home. And,
yeah,
and guess what? I'm in the court system and in the high school system. I don't deal with nobody in middle school, but high school. And we start from freshmen. But the biggest, I would say, concern we have is young men saying, I don't know what I want to do. And the first thing they see is, I don't want to join the military. I ain't dying for this country. I'm struggling. Number two, I ain't going to college because I ain't going to get myself in debt. So they've seen all the generations that's over $100,000 in educational loans that's making $30,000 a year. And they said, I ain't doing that.
yeah. I mean, listen. I just give people the harsh reality. Your youth is not to be squandered on partying and drinking. If you do that, you're just setting yourself up for more failure, more failure, more failure. Your job from 18 to 29 is to freaking fail. You need to
That's
get
facts.
all the failing out between 18 to 29. You need to run through life. Do not think about women. Don't avoid having children. You need to fail and become something first before you be of any use to anybody, anything. And while you have that big margin of error while you're young, because you don't have a big margin of error at my age, there's no big margin of error. Either you know or you don't know, and what you don't know can hurt you. So you better figure it out between 18 and 29. You better run hard, run fast, fail quick, and get your
Man, if
lessons and figure out what your only job between 18 and 29 is to figure out what your superpower is. You can't do
boy, you
nothing
talk
if you don't know what your superpower is. If you're 30, 40, 50 years old and you haven't figured out what your superpower is, shame on you.
can I
Shame
share
on
some with you? Your words are satisfying my soul. And the reason why you're a younger man sharing this with people, and there's a lot of people that could come up live, but they listening because they learning and I ain't gonna hold up the lesson. but man, I appreciate you. You need to be on a lot of, you got your own panel, but you need to be on some panels dropping some science. And I want your opinion on something, and that's why I shared what I said regarding what you're saying. But I have a question, and you can address it before you leave, because you said you're about to leave. I'm just speaking, I got a little irritated about 8 months to a year ago, and this is not directed to anyone or to be intended to be disrespectful. When the Africans tried, and I meant to say Africa, all of Africa, there ain't no country, tried to dictate to us how we should think, feel, and conduct business, and we are less than. That really bothered me bad,
So
because we know our history, we know our lessons, we know the stories. Like, we don't know our stories. And for us to live, brother, I read today that Black American wealth is like $36 trillion. It's way more than all of Black Africa. They like 13 billion. We are premium Negroes, and I'm saying Negro in the Spanish context. So I'm just saying, we love each other. You dropping out, you saving people a lot of trouble is what I'm hearing, bruh. You say, if people just hear what you're saying, that'll give them the device they need to make a sound decision. Because they know in that particular, okay, I'm 20. He told me I'm not going to do nothing but fail. I can't get this girl pregnant. I need to wear a condom.
right,
I mean, you get what I'm saying?
right. The moment you the moment you have guidance, you have freedom. It's not the other way around. You don't have freedom without. You need guidance to know that, hey, man, this is what you're gonna expect. So I don't want you to feel bad when you don't get it as fast as you want it. Some people do get it quickly, but that's exceptions to the rule. Most people get it in this time frame, and when you understand that, you're free now. Now you know what to expect, and now you're not sit there just you don't just feel like you're taking a bunch of hits and life is over. Because many times when I was young, man, I thought, man, because things didn't happen fast enough, I thought, man, I'm a failure, or I'm never going to be nothing, or But then as you stick around and as I hear my father's voice in my head saying, hey, man, you're my son, you're held to a higher standard. Whatever I put in you is enough. Stand on business. When you start hearing the teachings of your childhood right before you, when you start realizing everything your father told you when you were younger that you complained about was actually right. Those are hard lessons. Those are part of the lessons. When you figure out that what they told you, that you thought, they were too old to understand, or different, because my dad was born in 1942, or a different time period. When you start realizing the lessons of old still apply today, that's when you start becoming a man.
See, your dad older than mine, and I'm 10 years older than you. So you got more wisdom coming at you than mine.
Well, I'll say this. My dad had me at 39, 40 years old. There's a difference about when you have a father that's a man than when you grow up with a father who's a boy first and you watch him go through his mistakes from 18 to 29.
And I made so many mistakes during that period. I got divorced and everything.
Yeah, so
produced a child, all that.
Your kids see all that, and that affects them. That really affects them. I got the best version of my dad. He wasn't drinking. He wasn't smoking. Did he do all those things? Yes, he did it when he was young. But by the time he was 39, 40, and when he had me, he no alcohol in the system. The only cuss word I ever heard my dad say was ass. That's it. My dad brought his butt home. He took care of his family. He stood on business. His no meant no, and his yes meant yes. My dad wasn't a liar. He would just give me the reality of what it is. And man, listen, you might even say my dad ripped my childhood from me because I wasn't allowed to be a child long. His whole thing was, hey man, structure, discipline. That's what's gonna keep you when I'm not around. And he was right. My dad's not around right now, but his teaching, his structure, his discipline. I was light year ahead of my friends because of my dad. See, KRS One said it like this: Young people need to listen to old people and they'll run faster amongst younger people. Old people need to listen to younger people and they'll run faster amongst older people.
That's a fact.
That's facts. Yeah.
Brother, when you said KRS-One, I knew you were informed. And I'm going to say this to add on to what you're saying about fatherhood. My dad is very stern. We 𝗥𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀𝘁 from South Carolina. We the real deal. You know, the military helped me clear up my accent, but it comes out. When I'm home, it comes out. But the bottom line is, you are an old soul. Too much.
Yeah, I'm my dad.
No, you're an old soul. No, you're a recycled soul. You've been through what you're talking about in a previous life, and it's embedded in your energy, if you get what I'm saying. So you're expressing it at a young age, if you get what, and you've been knowing this for a while. You just didn't learn this at 45.
Oh yeah. Man, let me tell you, man, I got this. I got the hard knocks life for real, man. Listen, man, I grew up, listen, while most people was, listen, I did my drinking from 16 to 19. By the time I was 21, I stopped drinking already. Stop drinking. Even today, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do none of that. I'm telling you, man, I am an old soul. I am my father. When you seen me, you seen my father. I'm a stand on business. I'm a man of principle, and I preach it. I demand excellence.
You do.
I demand
what? You talking my language now? I demand excellence.
I demand excellence.
I demand it.
There is nothing else. Whatever you do it with excellence. I demand it, and I have the moral authority.
My daughter did not let me meet any but one of her boyfriends. She knew the deal. She knew it. And I'm not mean, but I am concerned about her welfare to this day. And I have a grandchild, 2 of them, 3. I got 3. So one just born. But the bottom line is, what you're sharing in such a brief, concise statement is powerful. And a lot of people like you on here, like I just got off a panel a while ago that I'm pretty cool with. And hey, if anybody in Africa here, there's no disrespect, I get tired of them jokers rambling, man. Because see, what's common to us is uncommon to you, because we've been doing this from generation to generation to generation, and we know the stories. I don't know nothing about, and I'm being honest, the ship landing. I haven't heard no stories about no ship landing. I know about the farming, the sharecropping, the slavery. I know all about that. I know why we say certain things. I know why we use certain African words. And I don't know where they came from, because that was a long, long time ago. I know where it came from. They were sailors. That don't mean they stayed. Either way it went, whether it was from Africa to America, or vice versa. But this is what we got to understand. This gentleman right here, Too Much, is just bringing us up to date and how to move forward. We're not trying to prove or disprove what history is written, but what he's sharing with you is life lessons, something that can help you live a better life. And that's important, because what Gen Z talking about, mental health, because they had to go through COVID. We didn't go through COVID. They saying we can't read. We don't know how to do this. We got AI. We got all this. Gen Z are the ones that's going to save us, though. Because you know what they are embracing? Togetherness. They booed up.
So let me touch on the African, since you asked that question, and this is really what my platform is about. We are delineating, and this is no disrespect to you, 𝗔𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀. I don't discriminate because you're African or you're Caribbean or anything like that. But I do stand on business, and I teach the truth. One of the things, matter of fact, let me ask you this: when's the last time you seen your mother?
I haven't seen her in person yet. I haven't went back.
So you've never been back? You never been to the continent of Africa?
No, I have. I just haven't been to my mom.
So this.
I know
so
what
there's
she
a
looks
movie.
like. I like.
Okay.
Like I video call her and everything, so I know exactly what she looks like. But
Okay.
yeah.
So here's your struggle here in America. I'm gonna give you your struggle here in America in a nutshell. You're in a weird position. You're not a foundational black American, but you're probably plugged into the culture here. You're not even 100% African because there are some things that the moment you get over here, you're no longer treated like an African. They're going to treat you like you're from here. Am I correct?
No, yeah, you're correct. Yeah, I mean they treat all black people here like the same. So yeah.
Exactly. So you're going to get the scams too, is what I'm saying. So there's a movie that you should watch. It's on Netflix. It's called Nigerian Prince. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Called Nigerian Prince. You should watch that movie, and that will kind of give you a clue on how you are in the world of where you're at. Your job, your job while you're here, because very few Africans I know ever plan on going back and building up their homeland. Very few. Very few. Most of the people, once they get over here, they stay over here. Especially the first, second, third generation that are born over here, they stay. They're not even trying to go back. But
Too much.
Go ahead, Uncle, real
The
quick.
evidence is there. We don't have to prove that. The most popular shoe on planet Earth ever is the Jordan shoe.
Yeah,
Ever.
yeah.
Every culture just worships that
Yeah.
gentleman. And see, this is what I want to say it in a very concise fashion. Why are you mad at us? We had no control of where we were born, what our ancestry was, or any of that.
No. This is what it is. Okay, they're jealous, and that's just the best. The best. The only way you can say what it is. There's a jealousy of seeing black people do better.
Oh, we do real good here.
And then it's being thrown in their face.
And I live in the Dominican Republic, so full time. So I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
They wear leggings, they wear $3 shirts, but they live in poverty.
Yeah.
Don't be moved by all that in leggings and colors.
And it's not about that, but it's the they have the colonized mindset. They're colonized. They're colonized to say, you know what? So the best way this is what a colonized mind looks like, and I'm gonna give you this example. When you have a baby elephant, how do you train a baby elephant? You tie it up to a stick. You get a rope, and you put the peg in the ground, and while he's a baby, he's not strong enough to break that rope, right? So you train him with that rope, and you say, when I put this rope on, you can't go but so far. But that baby elephant is going to become a beast, a behemoth of a beast. And you know how you can keep that baby elephant under control? With the same rope you put on him when he was a child.
That's deep.
That is the colonized mind. We didn't grow up with that rope.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever we say what we're going to do, to them, they're like, I don't understand why these niggas think like that. I don't understand why they
doubt.
like that. I don't
No
understand
doubt.
why they talk like that.
Nope.
And then when they get over here and they see that we don't have the rope that they have,
Boy, you preaching.
and they see that they don't got the restriction that they have back home that they have over here, and that they can do more over here. In their mind, they're doing the most. In our mind, we look at it like, man, we've been doing that.
No doubt. In fact,
So-
you don't hear about them jumping on our people because it's a force to be reckoned with. It ain't gonna let up. They are not gonna let you win.
So
They ain't gonna let the white man win.
Right. They get excited over education, over getting $100,000 jobs, driving nice cars, and they don't have the history that we have. Because see, we have trauma too. We have a different trauma than their trauma. Our trauma comes from we've been fighting. I mean, white supremacists. They really been fighting. We really been fighting them. You know what I'm saying? All our life. They didn't have that. They didn't have that white supremacist fight. They just had that chain, that rope that says you can only go so far, and they believed it.
too
So
much. This what they
they have
need.
that colonized mindset. We have that trauma from fighting against the oppressor every day, every single day. And we know that every time we build something, that they're coming quickly
Yep.
to knock it down.
As in centers. Yep.
So some of us, not all of us, some of us just said, why even build? Because they just gonna knock it down.
I agree with you
And then a lot of
100%.
us are like, I'm gonna build anyway, and I dare them to knock down what I built this time. So we got those two things going on. So when they get here, they're not fighting against the same oppressor that we're fighting against. You understand? It's a different mindset and a different war for them.
Can I share something with you right quick? When I'm around an American black man, I don't care damn if I'm in Oakland and I'm in North Carolina right now as I speak. We have a certain nonverbal communication with eye contact, energy, and chemistry.
Oh
Where I
yeah.
can look at a bruh and he can read that whole room and know what I'm saying. All I got to do is look, and he gonna start looking and catch it. Am I
It's the
lying?
head nod. It's the I mean, when we walk and see this is how I know if I'm dealing with the foundational black from anybody else. The moment I'm walking in the store and I run into my people and I do that head nod and they give it to me back, that's I already know that's my people. But the moment there's a little hesitancy of like, what do I do now? He just nodded at me, or do I look away? They're not from the culture. They don't understand what that head nod represents. Like, hey brother, you're safe. I see you. If anything goes, without even it being said, we're saying all this. If anything goes down, I got your back. From somebody from another culture, they're not thinking that. They're thinking enemy, tribe. He's not with me. He may be black like me, but he's not black like me. They're coming from a tribal sense. We're coming from a all black people are my people sense because we've had to be like that. They don't understand that we have many tribes here in America. Many tribes. You can break us up into many ways: north, south, east, west, midwest. You can go that way. You can go indigenous tribes: Choctaw, 𝗖𝗄𝗵𝘁𝘂𝘁𝗄𝗏, Cherokee, Blackfoot. Seminole. You can go. We have many tribes here, but we've learned that because we grew up in segregation and we all grew up in the same community that, hey man, if you from my block, I got your back and you safe over here. That's why if you grew up in a gang infested neighborhood, if you're from that neighborhood, you're safe.
Yep.
But if somebody else who's not from there, they're not safe.
But that's not even gang related. We did it by neighborhoods when I was coming up.
Right. So that's part of our culture. That's just who we are. If you grew up on this block and you're from this block, you're cool. No matter what goes on, you're cool because you're from here. We've always had that, hey man, I'm gonna look out for I see you. If something go down, we're a bunch of YT people or Hispanics or a bunch of off-brand, hey, listen, we gonna find each other later if something go down.
No doubt. Too much. Tell them this. I want you to verify this. I don't care what type of accent it is that we hear. If it's not, I don't care if it's New York, Oakland, LA, Texas, we know our accents. But when we hear something else, hey, we raise a brow. And we shouldn't, but we do. Because we know generally your ideology does not ride with us. So automatically we are in offensive mode, not defensive mode. I'm going to win this discussion. And nothing's been said. And this gentleman right here, 𝗔𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀, whatever, he seems like a nice gentleman from Liberia, I believe that flag is. And the Ivory Coast, yes. We came and went back, but we also went to the Dominican Republic and other countries after slavery. And it's a part of the Dominican Republic called Samana, and they speak Samana English. When they sing their hymnals from the United States, they sing them in English, and some of them don't speak English at all. At all. So that's telling you the power and energy. We're 93. I'm not saying nobody 87, but we 93. That's proving. And our presence, when I lived in Europe, as black as I am, the way I walk, talk, dress, they knew I was not African. They knew it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Everywhere we go, listen, man. I've been up in Africa, man, and nobody's ever mistaken me for an African in Africa. Never. They've always known, hey, this is the you're a Black American. They say you're American. You're
He didn't
American.
even do an outro.
Like, yeah, of
He
course
should
I
have.
am. They could tell by the way you walk, by the way you talk.
Yep.
You know, we have a
The way you wear
certain
your hat.
yeah, the way I dress. It's a certain confidence and a bravado that comes with a lot of Black men from America. It's a different energy. It's not a regalness. It's more of a it's more of a proudness. We have a proudness or an arrogance with us.
Yes. Yes. We
You
demand
know,
respect.
that says, hey man, I'm gonna get my respect wherever I'm at. And it's noticeable, and sometimes it's a turnoff. It is what
Yep.
it is. Sometimes it's a turnoff. But that's just who we are. Again,
Hey,
we have traumas. We have traumas, but we don't have the colonized mindset. And that's what they're looking for. That colonized mindset is strong. That colonized mindset says, hey man, don't be too proud. Be humble. No. Our mentality is I'm gonna be the greatest I can be. I'm gonna be the best in the room.
fam, you ever notice whenever we greet each other, wherever we from in the United States, we got the same grip, the same one.
Oh yeah, it's a
We
strong.
do it automatically. It's so natural
Oh yeah.
because we're grounding each other out. We're attaching. We're combining those energies.
Yeah.
We don't play games with our women, our daughters, or any of our children. Our wives, girlfriends, mothers, we don't play that because, like you said, we have trauma. And the trauma we experience is in our DNA. We remember it unconsciously. Oh, I said, how to say that? How say we remember it, not unconsciously, but it's in our DNA. How to say that?
It's blood memory. It's called blood memory. We got
Blood
blood
memory.
memory. We got blood memory. Some things are caught, not taught. Some things are passed down. Well, you can act out. You can act out the ways of your parents and not even have been raised by them.
That's the truth. You know you're being watched right now by trolls. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah,
All
you
the
being
time.
watched.
All
And
the
I'm
time.
gonna be honest with you, for what I used to do, and I'm not doing. I've been retired for a while. They putting you on a not necessarily a watch list, but your profile has been added to their alert list, so they're gonna listen every time you post live.
Oh
I
yeah,
know
man.
this from my top secret clearance. I know
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh yeah. You're not telling me nothing I don't know, man. I done found. I've been out and around in my town, and I did a wi. You know how you turn your Wi-Fi on,
Yes.
and I had FBI agent 2904 Wi-Fi
Mm.
pop up,
Wow.
and then
They
when I
watching you.
realize it, and I say something about it, all of a sudden the Wi-Fi disappears. Then it comes right back on again.
You know why they do that? I used to work at No Client Division of Emergency Management, and we had this communication system called a Viper. So they would have to talk to us, and that would allow unilateral law enforcement communication. It's not on the radio monitor that people have at home. And I would listen to those conversations, and it's crazy. It's us against them. It's sad. They try to take us down as much as they can, but it failed. However, this is the benefit of being Black American. It's never changed from the beginning of time.
Yeah, man.
I challenge.
I love being a black. I love being able to stand on business, and that's all I know.
That's what we do. And see, they don't understand that. That's what
I'm
makes us
not.
different.
There's no fear in that.
None.
If
None.
I love being me because I get to tell the truth. I get to tell the truth. I don't have to live the lie. Everybody else,
Bam.
they got to live the lie. But I get to walk in the truth, and their job is to silence the truth, and my job is to spread the truth. See,
We are not afraid.
it's so simple, and if I gotta go because I'm telling the truth, I feel good about that. I
Death
feel
is a
good.
gift.
I feel good. The truth is a blessing and a curse, but I love it. I love it. I'd rather tell the truth because I don't got to worry about making up no stories to get y'all to believe it. You know what? See when I was in Hollywood, I realized that their job is to act like nobody knows what everybody knows. That's a hard job. To pretend you're straight when you're really undercover, that's a hard job. That's a hard job to pretend that there's not a conspiracy going on when you know you're a part of the conspiracy. That's a difficult job. How do you sleep at night? Me, I get to have a good night's sleep every night because I know I'm standing on truth. And I don't got to live no lie. And I don't got to make nothing up. And I don't got to please nobody. And you know what? I'm stress-free that way. But somebody else who got to hide who they really are, change their name so many times, I get to keep my name and be proud of it. I got the best job in the world. Just stand up, be a man of principle and not a man of convenience. Never have to sell out. Never have to sell anybody out. I got the best job in the world. I get to be who I say I am. And I get to influence the world. I often wonder, it must be hard to be from another culture imitating someone else's culture. How did that make you feel that you're from a whole nother culture, but you got to imitate someone else's culture just so you can fit in and be accepted? And all I got to do is just live out my culture and my heritage and my ancestors, and I'm accepted. I wouldn't want to be nothing else. I wouldn't, I get to wake up every day and be me, be the best version of me. While other people, they get to wake up and they got to get their lie together before they even step outside. Because they're a sleeper cell. And they got to lie to everybody they come in contact with because that's their job. That's why I love being Foundation of Black America. I don't got to lie. I don't got to cheat. I don't got to steal.
I am a FBA, but I want to identify as one, but because my heritage is why I'm an FBA. But I gullied out with my heritage is 𝗔𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘂𝘁 more than anything. That makes sense.
I mean, yeah, that's still us. FBA is just
That's still us. It's still us. But what I'm saying is we have our own consolidated culture that's not perhaps spread across the United States, which is fine. And we eat food that a lot of people consider nasty, like okra and stuff like that. So, I mean, we love okra in South Carolina. The pickled okra, we eat it like pickles.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm just from the comment real quick. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to be a part of no association, because when you join an association, you have to teach and talk a certain way, or that association will disbar you.
And that's what's going on right now.
I don't got to worry about that. I don't got to worry about that. I can speak freely. I can say what I want to say, do what I want to say, live how I want to live. Ain't no association I got to be beholden to, because the moment you do that, it's like when you become a medical doctor, you become a part of their association. So guess what? You can only talk about this, but the moment you start talking about that, they can say, "Oh, we're gonna take that license."
I want to share this with you.
You write up a paper and you say, "Okay, I found a medical breakthrough." It got to go through 25 different hands before you can put it out. And by the time you put it out, they done changed it with propaganda and witchcraft on it.
True. They got witchcraft. I'm glad you said that, but we got it too. So I don't want to call it that, but you get what I'm saying, because that shit is real. So
hoodoo.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So with that being said, this is what bothers me the most too much. For about 2 years, they attacked Black Americans, and we sat back and watched, and we listened, because they are our brothers and sisters in complexion. And we got mad after a while and said, hold up, wait a minute. Who you talking to? That's the same mentality we have with white folks, by the way, y'all, that y'all don't have. Who are you talking to? We have over $36 trillion in Black America. Africa has like 3 billion. They're not including that queen down in Nigeria. That's a private entity. They're looking at the whole continent. She's second richest woman in the world. They can't include her. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm not hating on her, but this is what everybody need to understand. And I mean this from the bottom of my 55-year-old heart. All this came about with TikTok. It didn't come about with Facebook. It didn't come out with Instagram, Twitter. All this challenging, this battle came up on TikTok. But they learning now that we're not waiting on them to defend ourselves, and we're not asking for their help. Because at the end of the day, when we win, we're going to say you didn't help us, and we will expel you ourselves. We will expel you from the United States. And I'm not saying it in a hateful fashion, but you can't talk about us because my parents fought for this. Yours didn't. You riding on my tail.
So
You're not riding on Nigeria, Liberia, Zimbabwe tail. You riding on my tail.
Right. So the whole continent of Africa is estimated as of 2023, $3.1 trillion. That's the whole country of Africa. $3.1 trillion. Our GDP, so to say, in just off of foundational Black Americans, not including all of America, just foundational Black Americans, just 50 million of us is 1.9 trillion. So imagine that. 50 million foundational Black Americans versus 1.5 billion Africans. And their GDP is only 3.1 trillion collectively, and our GDP is 1.9 trillion amongst 50 million. That should tell you all you need to know right there. That should tell you who is hating on who. We're not hating on them. And that should tell you who should be teaching who. If we go big bank, take little bank, if we just go off the sheer numbers, the numbers said, don't point your finger over here at us. Fix your homeland first. Because if 50 million collectively can generate 1.9 trillion in spending, and Africa collectively 3.1 trillion, that's all you need to know.
Yeah, I'm glad you clarified. But remember, the statistics I told you earlier didn't include that woman because she's the second richest woman in the world. That's an individual, so they didn't include her wealth in that.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter.
But for that statistic, they did.
Yeah.
You know, the first FBA, when FBA first started, I'm an African American. I was really so happy about the movement. I said, okay, this is what I've been looking for. But in my opinion, brother, you got to listen to other people's opinion. My opinion, the movement went left. We don't need to be beefing with Africans. In the long run, it's gonna hurt us, brother. I'm telling you, it's gonna hurt us. You looking at almost 2 billion. Well, some say it is 2 billion people. It's just a matter of time the people's rising, man. They're not gonna forget that.
Brother, what do you think we're supposed to do? Forget what
We're not.
We don't either. And what do you think we're gonna do? Sit there and just crawl into a hole or something? You think, listen, this is what you gotta understand, and a lot of people don't understand. We are light years ahead, decades ahead of Africa right now, today.
1 century
I don't know,
ahead.
brother.
1 century ahead.
Decades.
Don't fall for that propaganda, brother.
No, I live in the Middle East. I used to live in the Middle East. I saw it.
And listen, ain't nobody talking down. Now let me be clear. There's a few of us that are stomping down on Africa, right? But the majority of us is not even worried about Africa. I'm telling you, see, this is the problem. We are not that turn the other cheek that people think we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to be
Yes.
raised. We don't
Yes.
listen. We're not that turn the other cheek. If you do something to us, we're gonna respond, and
We'll
you don't
die
have,
for it.
and you don't have to like how we respond. We just gonna respond.
My thing,
Everything that we're saying and we're doing has always been into response to something else. As a foundation of Black American, we don't bother nobody.
Nope.
We don't go
like
about.
I said, it
We
was a
don't
good
mess with the
movement.
YT people. We don't mess with the Hispanic people. We don't mess with the Arabs. We don't mess with the Chinese. We don't bother them. You got to come out your enclave and do something to us for us to do something back to you.
Now, let me say this. I was with it 100%. Like I say, okay. And it could be a good thing. At the end of the day, that we iron out our differences now, African and the African American. It could be just like a family. You found a family.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Let me say this. What did your parents say that you were?
Well, one side of my family said African American. We came from Africa. The other said we was Native American.
My
Okay,
family never said we was African ever.
which one do you believe?
Both.
And okay, I'm okay with that. So
I know
I
for
agree
a
with
fact
that.
that black people's here in the United States.
I'm okay because some of us do have like I said, a lot of us have. Some of us do have African ancestry. I'm not going to discount that. Some of them 90,000 slaves that actually made it over here. They mixed in. They mixed in.
That was us
No
that came
doubt.
in from Barbados. That was us.
We mixed in.
But my whole family not from Barbados, if you get what I'm saying.
I got you. But here's the thing. We went to school, and the school taught us we were Africans. I remember my dad telling me we were Indians. I remember my mom telling me we were Indians. I remember my grandparents telling me that we were Indians. I remember this, and I remember laughing at them because they told me we was Indians, and I'm like, man, all black people. And you know how many times, you know how long I've been hearing in my community that we Indians. All my life, I've been hearing this, and every black person has the same story. You know, I'm Indian, and I used to laugh at them like, man, we African. But that's because that's what the school taught me. That's what
Brother,
media, the
I
propaganda,
knew
the
black people's
media
already here.
taught
Black
me.
people's all over the world.
Exactly. There's an equator. It's something called the equator. It just doesn't stop in Africa.
Nope.
The
It
equator
doesn't.
has nothing to do with your skin being dark.
Yes, it does. It really
No, it
does.
doesn't, brother.
Listen,
It does.
No, it
You're,
don't.
okay, think of melanin and what melanin is. What is the job of melanin? Do you know?
To produce energy,
Where do they get that energy from?
melanin.
No, where did they get that energy? Okay, the job of melanin is to take the energy. See, you're like a battery.
As a
Your
dark skinned male,
melanin,
I can tell you, I feel that shit.
your melanin is because of the sun that you have melanin. It's because of the sun, nothing else. If there was no sun, you wouldn't need melanin. It takes that energy from the sun and transfers it into energy that you can use in your body today. You have melanin that covers you. Did you know melanin covers not only your skin but your DNA too?
Yes, it does.
It protects
Let me
your
tell you
I
something.
DNA.
know all of that, brother. That's why I said there's no
So, so,
evolution.
so
Now
no,
we all
I
black
know all of
Americans.
that.
We all black Americans
listen.
here, so we good.
Think about this. I don't understand. Did you know melanin is worth more than gold? Did you know that?
Of
I
course,
know
that's what
all
they
of that,
stealing our
brother.
women for the mitochondrial DNA.
I
That's
know
what they
all
want.
of
They
that.
stealing our
So if
women.
you know how
But what I'm
important
trying to tell
melanin
you,
is,
if you
and
take away the
if you
sun,
know how important melanin is, and why people without melanin are afraid of people with melanin, that should tell you something right there.
That's why the fastest and strongest people in the world, because
Melanin
we
is
have the
what I'm
melanin.
trying to tell you, of course,
of
melanated
hold
people are the
on.
natural skin tone under the sun. Of course, I know that.
Yes,
But what I'm
yes, of
trying to tell
course.
you has nothing to do with the
Hold
equator.
on. Now,
No matter where you put us, we're gonna be black. We're not gonna change.
now I'm gonna get a little spooky and a little biblical with it.
Get
Okay.
with it.
Do you know who Melchizedek was?
No.
Melchizedek was the first person to receive a tenth of a tithe, a tenth of an offering. The first person that got installed the tenth. The tenth came from Melchizedek. Melchizedek was known as the priest of the Most High God. This was during the time of Abraham. Okay? Abraham gave Melchizedek a tenth of all he had because he gave it to Melchizedek because Melchizedek had no beginning, had no end, and he was known as the priest of the Most High God.
And he had no belly button. I know you're talking about. He had no belly button.
Where did Melchizedek come from?
Nobody know. I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you where he came from. He came from here, the land that we're on presently today.
I don't have that proof, so I can't speak on that. But I know black people's all over the planet.
Have you ever heard of Tamaria, or
Yep,
Turtle
Tamara.
Island? Turtle
Yep,
Island.
Turtle Island, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
How
This is
come it's
Turtle
not
Island.
mentioned in the scriptures, but yet it still existed during the same time as the scriptures? I just want y'all to think about that. Think
The
about how
Bible's in our DNA.
we have over 2,200 pyramids over here, and they only got 300 over there on the continent of Africa. Our mounds predate their mounds because a mound is first. Our tools was even more sophisticated than their tools.
So it's
Look
safe
at
to
our
say we're the
inventions.
same.
Look at our
It's
inventions
still
in
safe to say
modern
we're the
world.
same people, brother. It's the
Huh?
same. We the same people though. It doesn't matter. We still the same people.
Yeah, we still the same. But I'm just saying
Okay,
we got a different
no.
lineage than they do.
Let me say it like this. Okay, let's just bring it back present day. And I'm not trying to have no black supremacy or any type of thing like that where we're superior than other people.
Well,
I'm not.
I
We are
believe that.
superior.
So I believe that. Yes.
But let
We
me
are
say this.
superior. It's the truth.
Listen. You got 1.5 billion people over there in Africa, and you got
1.5 billion.
It just went out.
Actually, it's 2 billion. They're unaccountable. But go ahead.
Man, my mom died one February, and I went to her funeral, and family members stood up, and one of the things they talked about was how pretty my mom and her funeral, and family members stood up, and one of the things they talked about was how pretty my mom and grandma hair was. Women in other cultures cover their hair. Hair arouses men, so they cover it. That was only for their husband.